When my husband lost his job, I took on extra shifts to keep us afloat. I skipped birthdays, missed date nights, and sold my jewelry to cover rent. Last weekend, I found a receipt in his jacket for a $6,000 watch. When I asked him about it, he said, "Relax, it was a gift. For my mom. She's never had nice things." I thought he was joking until I saw her wearing it at brunch, smiling like a queen. "She deserves it more than you do," he whispered. That night, I froze our accounts. Now his whole family's calling me evil. I'm not sure where to start. This is going to be long. But I need to get it out. I'm 38. I've been married to Mike for 6 years. We live in Tacoma, Washington. No kids, just the two of us. We always said we'd wait until we were more stable, financially. That was the plan. Things were fine for the first few years. We weren't rich, but we were getting by. Mike worked in sales. I'm a nurse, been working at Tacoma General since my 20s. It's hard work, but I've always been proud of it. Last November, Mike lost his job. Company laid off a bunch of people. I remember he came home, quiet, didn't even take off his coat before slumping down on the couch. "I got let go," he said, like he was in a daze. I didn't even ask questions. I just held him. "It's okay," I told him. "We'll get through this." At first, I meant that. I believed it. I told myself I could handle the extra pressure. I started picking up more shifts. I took every overtime offer I could get. Sometimes I'd be at the hospital for 16 hours, come home, shower, and go right back. Mike said he was applying for jobs. I believed him at first. But after a few weeks, I started noticing things. He stopped getting up early. He'd be asleep when I left and still on the couch when I came home. He started playing video games more, sometimes until 2 or 3 in the morning. When I asked how the job hunt was going, he got defensive. Told me he was taking time to recalibrate. Said he needed to figure out his next move. I stayed quiet. I didn't want to nag. I didn't want to make him feel worse. I thought maybe he was going through something. I gave him space. Too much, maybe. Meanwhile, I missed birthdays, date nights, family events. I didn't even go to my godson's first birthday because I was working. I sold my gold necklace and my grandma's bracelet, white gold with a little sapphire in the middle, to help cover rent in February. I cried in my car after I sold it. Mike never noticed. Or if he did, he never said anything. Then, last weekend, everything changed. It was Saturday night. I was doing laundry after a long shift. I checked Mike's jacket before throwing it in the washer and found a folded receipt in the inside pocket. It was thick paper, fancier than a normal store receipt. Neiman Marcus. $6,145.79. For a Rolex. I stared at it, thinking it had to be a mistake. Maybe it was old? Maybe he was holding it for someone else? None of it made sense. I didn't say anything that night. I waited until Sunday morning. He was in the kitchen making eggs and toast like he always does. I sat down across from him and slid the receipt onto the table. "What's this?" He glanced at it and went back to buttering his toast. "It's a gift." "For who?" "My mom." I actually laughed. I thought he was joking. "You bought your mom a $6,000 watch." "She's never had anything nice," he said, like it was a fact. "She raised us alone. She deserves it." "With our money?" He finally looked at me. I'll never forget the look in his eyes. Cold. Flat. "She deserves it more than you do." I felt the floor drop under me. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I just stared at him, trying to understand how the man I married could say something so cruel. That afternoon, we were supposed to have brunch with his family. I almost didn't go, but some part of me needed to see it with my own eyes. We got there and sure enough, his mother was wearing the Rolex. She held out her wrist every chance she got, making sure everyone saw it. "Mikey got this for me," she said at least 6 times. "Can you believe it?" She kept looking at me like she'd won something. I sat there, numb, listening to them laugh and talk like I wasn't even there. No one said thank you. No one asked how I was. They knew I was the one keeping everything afloat. They just didn't care. That night, while Mike slept, I sat on the couch in the dark and stared at our online banking screen. We had 3 accounts. I moved every dollar into a new account in my name. I left $32 in the main one. Just enough to make sure no overdraft notices would pop up immediately. I also changed all the passwords and froze the debit cards. Then I looked at his credit card statements. Found one I didn't know about. It had my name listed as an authorized user. He'd been ordering games, clothes, even some jewelry. I reported it as fraud. Next morning, he started texting me like a man on fire. "Where's our money? What the hell did you do?" I didn't respond. Then his mom called. First it was, "You must be confused." Then, "You have no right." And finally, "You're a cold bitch. You'll regret this." His sister DM'd me, "He was always too good for you." Even his cousin, who I hadn't spoken to in years, left a voicemail calling me trash. I didn't answer any of them. That same day, I made an appointment with a divorce lawyer. Mike showed up at my job 2 days later, waiting outside my car after my shift. He said he didn't mean it, that he was just overwhelmed. That I was making it bigger than it had to be. But it was that big. It was everything. He took what I sacrificed and handed it to someone else. He looked me in the face and told me I didn't deserve it. So now I'm here. Alone, exhausted, but more clear than I've ever been. He gave a Rolex to his mother. I'm about to give him a divorce. I didn't tell Mike I was filing. I wanted it to hit him hard. The lawyer told me not to say anything until we had the paperwork in order. So I kept going to work like everything was normal. At home, I barely spoke to him. I moved into the guest room. He kept trying to talk, acting like this was a fight we could bounce back from. Like a couple spat. "I messed up," he said one night while I was brushing my teeth. "But come on, Ratch, you're gonna end our marriage over a watch." I looked him dead in the eyes. "I'm ending it because you sold me out." He just shook his head and walked out. What I didn't expect was how fast his family turned up the pressure. It wasn't just calls anymore. His mom showed up at the hospital. I was on break in the staff lounge when the front desk paged me. "There's a woman here claiming she's your mother-in-law." I stepped out and there she was, in that damn Rolex, standing at the front desk like she owned the place. She smiled at me. "Let's talk." I told her I was working. She stepped in closer. "You're ruining his life. He's depressed. He's not eating. You're making a mistake." I stared at the watch. "Give it back and I'll think about it." She laughed in my face. "Oh honey, I earned this. That man came from me. You're just a chapter." I didn't say another word. I walked back in, told security she was harassing staff. They made her leave. But I knew it wasn't over. That night, I found my car keyed. Deep, ragged lines across the passenger side. And taped to the windshield was a printed photo of me and Mike from our wedding. On the back, someone wrote, "You'll never be family." I didn't have proof, but I knew it was them. My lawyer told me to document everything. So I started keeping notes. Photos, voicemails, text messages. Even the ones from Mike that said, "I can't control what my mom does and you're escalating things." But I knew I needed something more. Something that would make this divorce airtight. Then one day, while going through a drawer looking for my insurance card, I found a folder. Mike's old work stuff. Inside was a severance letter from his job. It was dated 6 weeks earlier than he told me. And attached to it was a check stub. $9,000. That bastard had lied about when he got laid off. He'd sat on the severance, hidden it, and let me burn myself out thinking we were broke. He had money the whole time. And you know what really hit me? That Rolex? It wasn't just paid for with our savings. It was paid for with the severance I never knew about. I called my lawyer the next morning. Add financial deception to the file, I said. He lied about income and used it for luxury gifts. I want everything. We filed the divorce that week. When he got served, he finally snapped. Threw a fit in our apartment, yelling, punching the wall. Called me a greedy whore. Said I was trying to destroy his legacy. Legacy? You played Xbox while I sold heirlooms. You fed your mom steak while I ate instant ramen at 1 a.m. in a break room. Now he's telling anyone who'll listen that I'm trying to steal his future. His mom made a Facebook post saying I was punishing a man for loving his mother. I don't reply. I let the lawyers do the talking. But I'm not done yet. I just found something else. Something that might blow this wide open. It started with a bill. A random envelope in the mail addressed to Mike. I usually toss his stuff aside without looking, but this one caught my eye. Return address was a private jeweler downtown. Handwritten. I opened it. It wasn't just for the Rolex. It was for 2 watches. One Rolex date just $6,145.79. And a second charge, dated 2 weeks later, Omega Seamaster, blue dial, $4,890. That wasn't on the receipt I found before. My blood ran cold. I never saw that second watch in the apartment, not even the box. I went straight to our shared credit report and started digging. Turns out, he'd opened a line of credit in his name, only his, thankfully, and used it to buy that second watch. The balance was still active. And that watch? It sure as hell didn't go to his mom. I sat with it for a minute. Then I called the jeweler, pretending to confirm the receipt as part of a gift insurance claim. They asked for the reference number, which I gave. The woman on the phone confirmed both purchases, then said, "The Omega was picked up by the young lady, your daughter?" I nearly dropped the phone. I don't have a daughter. I asked her to describe who picked it up. Young, tall, maybe early 20s? Long hair. She seemed happy. She signed Tanya H. for it. Tanya. I knew that name. She's 24. Mike used to mentor her when she interned at his old job. She came to our house once for a barbecue, 2 summers ago. I remember how she stood close to him, always laughing at his jokes. I thought it was harmless. Stupid me. I went straight to social media and searched her name. Her Instagram was public. Scroll, and there it was. A photo from last week. Her in a mirror, flashing a blue dial Omega on her wrist, captioned, "Feeling spoiled, blue heart sparkles, #blessed, #luxury." My hands shook as I stared at the screen. He bought her a watch. While telling me we were broke. While I was skipping meals and pawned family jewelry to pay bills. While I rubbed Vicks on my swollen knees after 16-hour shifts. I felt sick. It wasn't just the money. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was who he gave himself to. A 20-something intern who didn't know a damn thing about what we went through. Who didn't bleed for him like I did. I printed everything. The jeweler's bill. The screenshots. I gave them to my lawyer. "This changes everything," he said. "This is no longer just a divorce. This is marital fraud. Financial infidelity. You're in a good position." But it didn't feel like a good position. It felt like I was crawling out of a swamp I didn't know I'd been drowning in for 2 years. Mike didn't know I'd found out about Tanya. Not yet. He kept texting me at night, some pathetic mix of anger and sweetness. "You're throwing us away. Don't do something you can't undo." She didn't mean anything. I never said a word back. But I was planning something. I wanted everyone to know what he did. Not just the courts. His mother. His sister. His whole family that called me cold, evil, ungrateful. They were going to hear everything. I waited one more week before I made my move. It was his mom's birthday. She was throwing a party at her house, a backyard barbecue. I wasn't invited, obviously. But Mike still hadn't changed the garage security code at our place, and I had all his family on Facebook. That morning, I uploaded one photo. A screenshot of Tanya's Instagram post. Her posing in the mirror with the Omega watch. Caption: "Here's the other watch my husband bought, this one for his intern. Bought it with his severance money while I was working double shifts to pay rent." His mom got the Rolex. I got to sell my jewelry so we could eat. Then I tagged his mom. His sister. His cousin. Every damn one who called me evil. I let it sit up there for all of Tacoma to see. The reaction was instant. Texts. Missed calls. My inbox blew up. His mom messaged me, "You liar. He would never do this." I replied with a screenshot of the jeweler's bill. I told her to check her son's credit cards. She didn't respond. By 4 p.m. Mike was banging on the apartment door, screaming like a man on fire. He knew what I'd done. I didn't open it. Just recorded the whole thing for my lawyer. At 6 p.m., I got a message from Tanya herself. "You're a jealous old bitch." I smiled. She had no idea what was coming. The next day, my lawyer filed an official fraud claim on the shared credit history. He also filed for damages in the divorce. Emotional, financial, and legal grounds. With all the evidence we had. The receipts, the credit statements, the proof of him hiding money and gifting luxury items to a girlfriend, we had everything we needed. The judge moved fast. Within 3 weeks, Mike was hit with a court order. He had to pay me restitution. He had to forfeit most of the marital assets, including the car, which was in my name. He also had to cover my legal fees. The Rolex? The judge forced him to get it back and liquidate it. His mom lost her prize. She wasn't smiling anymore. And the Omega? Turns out he charged it and never finished paying it off. The credit company repossessed it when he couldn't make payments. Tanya posted a bitter story about snakes and fake love and then made her account private. Mike tried to apologize one last time. "I was lost," he said. "I didn't know how to ask for help. I messed up." I looked at him, this man I once would have died for, and I felt nothing. "You didn't mess up," I said. "You made choices. Over and over again. I still love you." "No," I told him. "You loved what I could do for you. That's not the same. He's living with a friend now. I heard through someone at work that he's trying to drive for Uber, but his car's still under appeal from the divorce, so it might be taken. His mom stopped speaking to me. His sister blocked me. But I still see her sometimes. At the grocery store. At Target. They never say a word. I've moved into a 1-bedroom near the hospital. It's small, but it's mine. No one drains me anymore. I sleep better. I eat better. I work because I choose to, not because I'm bailing out someone else. Sometimes, I open my drawer and look at the old wedding photo, the one they taped to my windshield. I smile. They were right about one thing. I'll never be family. And thank God for that.